I never believe in the word called narrative. There is a difference between narrative and truth. BJP ka social media ka volunteers, we are on the side of truth. We are never on the side of narrative. I'll give you a small example to illustrate the difference between a narrative and a truth. We all know Congress party is declining. Just yesterday I was seeing in television channel, the previous Congress Delhi ka state president has joined BJP yesterday in the presence of our state president. So we all have seen. Across India, we know Congress party is on a decline, possibly in 2024. June 4, when the counting happens, Congress party will come down to less than 50 member of parliament in the Lok Sabha. It will happen. But Congress ka ecosystem jinda hai. Whatever ecosystem has protected the Congress party over the last 50 years, that ecosystem is still intact. Our job as social media volunteers and people in the social media is to dismantle the Congress ka ecosystem, which is functioning more than the Congress party. So first 10 minutes, I'll take some examples to illustrate the difference between a narrative and a truth. There was a news article in a newspaper. 33% of girl students in a college have married their own professors. This is the news article. 33% of girl students in a college have married their own professors. Immediately the ecosystem will say, what is happening in our country? 33% girl students have married their own professors. What is it? We are not getting into the value judgment of right or wrong. Now this is a narration, a narrative, which says 33% girl students have married their professors. But if you look at the truth, that class might have only 3 girl students, and 1 girl student might have married their professor. That is their personal relationship. Nobody is bothered. So 1 girl student marrying their professor, that is the truth. But the narrative is 33% of girl students in a college have married the professor. Our job is to bust this narrative wherever a false narrative gains ground in the country, and using that narrative, they try to make a story out of it. In the last 10 years of Modi ji's rule, whatever good things, great things we have done, we are taking that to the elections in Delhi on May 25. But still the false narrative, the opposition used to do it for a lot of years, and they're using the false narrative even during this election. Now we have to understand, at one point of time, journalism in India, journalists in our country, they were literally considered God. And these journalists had so much access to power, they were even controlling the policy making. They were deciding who should meet the minister. If you observe carefully the Neera Radia tapes of that era, some of our top journalists in our country had unbridled access to power, to some of the top cabinet ministers. They even knew some of the policy decisions even before it happens. And many of the brokers had access to the ministers of UPA 1 and 2 through some of the journalists. So journalists believed they are God. And they were traveling freely with the top leaders. They had access to the Prime Minister. They were traveling in the same airplane along with the Prime Ministers to different parts of the world. Now after Modi ji has taken over our country as Prime Minister from May 30, 2014, there is a difference. And everybody is treated equally. Nobody is given an extra access to the government. Even a journalist has to get information like the same source you and me can get the information. So this has created a cognitive dissonance. There is still a group of journalists belonging to the ecosystem who believe the institutions are collapsing simply because their access to power is cut. So this is why our social media volunteers, people who are sitting in this room, we have a very important role to play, not only during the elections, even before the elections also. Before I get into some of the political aspects which we need to discuss, I'm still on the narration part. Just yesterday, there was a news article from Reporters Without Borders who said the press freedom in India is declining. And we all have read in the paper. Not only this, we keep reading a lot of articles in our newspapers which Indian media loves to cover in a big way. The institutions in our country are collapsing. after BJP has taken over, BJP has come to the government. So very often they keep quoting couple of indexes, press freedom index, the democracy index, to say, oh, in India democracy is declining. And many newspapers cover it prominently. Again, I'm giving this example as a second example to say how a narrative is set in our country by people who don't want to believe India is progressing. There is this Freedom and World Index, which is covered largely, which talks about the democracy and civil liberty in each of the country. The Freedom and World Index is published by Freedom House based out of New York. India's civil liberty score, if you see, in 2018 was 42. In 2022, it has come down to 33. So now India's overall ranking has come down to 66, which India had during emergency. Emergency time में India का क्या score था? अभी Freedom and World Index has given the same score to us. Northern Cyprus, a country controlled by Turkey, is having a democracy score of 77, that is better than our country. Mongolia, which had a one-party system in 1990 till 1990, is having a score of 84, which according to Freedom and World Index is a free country. Now if you keep looking at it, this is a narrative. Now this will come in the paper, people will read it. But our job as social media volunteers, as influencers, is to dig the truth, to find what is really the truth, so that through our social media handles, through our ecosystem, we publish to the people at large. If you look at the truth of what is happening, this report, Freedom and World Index, which is coming in all the top newspapers, it is produced by a team of in-house staff, analyst, consultant, external analyst. It is not, they don't come to India, they don't meet you and me, they don't take survey in Tamil Nadu, survey in Kerala, survey in Delhi, and then they put out a score. So they have 25 questions which they give to a team of 100 people. They are the staff, analysts, consultant, experts. It is not by any common people of the country. These people fill out these 25 questions. The average answer is taken out. And then from New York, they publish a survey stating, oh, India may live, civil liberty score has come down. Not even a single Indian citizen answers the question there, whereby this number is derived. So this is where we should bring out the truth to say, this is all bogus things that keep coming during every election. The next one is the Economist magazine. Economist magazine publishes something called Economist Intelligent Unit Democracy, EIU. If you look at it, it is published by the research and consulting arm of Economist magazine. India was ranked 27th in 2014. India, last available survey, we are ranked 46th in 2021. Our civil liberty score is less than Hong Kong and less than Sri Lanka. Again, if you see, how did Economist arrive at this number? Economist takes its number from a world value survey. And this world value survey, in which Economist score is based, after 2012, they have stopped reaching out to people to take survey. Again, this is based on expert opinion. After 2012, they never come to a ground. They never ask people what it is happening. Again, the world value survey, a group of people sit down, they mark their score. Friends, the reason I'm starting with this example is, we should understand a narrative is a very, very powerful component in social media. So our job is to go beyond narration. So the top 2 surveys in the world, which talks about civil liberty, both the surveys are done by in-house experts who answer a set of questions based on which this magazine publishes a report saying, oh, India mein civil liberty kam ho gaya, India mein democracy is under threat. And some Indian journalists based in our country, they will take this report, sit in a newspaper room or a TV room, they will have a prime time debate. So we have to understand in this age and time, our role here is to find the truth, find the information and bring out in the public domain. Because everything, whatever survey they bring about our country, it borders on bogus. There is nothing called reality to it. So we have to understand that is how 2024 elections is also being conducted.